The mini bye is over. The Kansas City Chiefs are here, and your Denver Broncos just found a reason to be more motivated than ever. We get good news before the game against the Chiefs. We also have more evidence that the Bo Nix slander absolutely needs to stop. That and way more in this video. If you're new to the channel, I'm a diehard Denver Broncos fan named Ben, and it helps me and the algorithm out a ton. If you like the Broncos, smash that like and subscribe button. So one of the more bizarre stories I've ever heard as an NFL fan, something that hits extremely close to home based on what just happened and transpired over these past couple months with my wife. But essentially, here's what happened. After the Houston Texans game, as a part of his drug testing, Alex Singleton found out that he had some elevated numbers, and he went in and saw a urologist and found out just days after that Houston Texans game that he had testicular cancer. He decided to continue and actually play that game, that Thursday night game where he played out of his mind and won the game against the Vegas Raiders, and then had his cancerous tumor removed the next day. So just absolutely just what a warrior here that like none of us knew. We all watched him play and play like extremely well. I'll never forget seeing this video here. Dondre Tillman has the pick, and you see it's like Alex Singleton out in front of him being like, hey, I knew this dude has some skates. Let's roll, buddy. Let's go. Follow me. Just an incredible leader. We know last year Alex Singleton played a whole game on an ACL and then went on that entire trip on the East Coast with the Broncos because he wanted to be with his brothers. And we didn't even find out until just a couple of days before that second game on that back-to-back road trip. This is the type of dude that Sean Payton just brings in because he is a high culture guy. And so sometimes in the draft, you're like, oh, look at that guy who runs a super fast 40 or does this or does that. And Sean Payton puts character above anything else. And you will not find a more high character move than what Alex Singleton did. The fact that this entire thing he could have swept under the rug, having just gone through my wife beating stage 3 colon cancer, there's a lot of times you just don't want to talk about it. You don't want the whole world to know your mess sometimes, and it is just the biggest cloud over your entire life. And so for him to come out on social media and tell everyone about it and use that as a platform to tell everyone else, like, hey, go get screened, just tells you all you need to know about this guy. And I absolutely love just the grit that he showed to play on a Thursday night game. And then the next morning when most dudes wouldn't even be able to get out of bed after playing a football game, he goes to a hospital and has that procedure. What a dude. And I just love what RK from DNVR said. Like, the fact that you find that out, that would cloud everyone's mind. You wouldn't be able to think about a single other thing, much less going and playing a football game, knowing that you have that inside of you and not knowing what the long-term prognosis is. And he's like, yeah, let me go beat the Raiders really quick. And without a doubt, this is going to be a rallying cry to the entire Denver Broncos team. You even heard Justin Strnad, who's going to be stepping in for him next to Dre Greenlaw, come out and say, this doesn't surprise me whatsoever for him. He's the ultimate competitor, and we want to use this. And he said that in his press conference. We want to use this and go beat the Chiefs for Alex Singleton. So this is a rallying cry for this team that, like, hey, if this guy can put his own diagnosis behind him and go out and lay it on the line for this team that he loves, then they're all going to. And that is just a very uncommon thing, and could not be prouder of him and of this team. Now, he is going to miss this game on Sunday. Thankfully, the bye week is coming, and then the Commanders game after that. I'm hoping he's going to be back by that Commanders game, but he said at the very least this isn't going to be him missing 4, 5, 6 weeks. So hopefully that means Commanders game or possibly the game after that. But the big question now becomes like, okay, so who is going to be wearing that green dot? Because Alex Singleton isn't just a leader of your field. He's an actual general on the field and has the green dot, meaning the call from Vance Joseph comes into him and he relays it to everyone else. So let me know in the comments, who do you think should have that green dot on their helmet for this next game? I like this idea, Brandon Jones, because he's been in the offense or the defense for a long time. I also love the idea of it being Talanoa Hufanga. Just the leadership he has shown on the field is wild. Obviously, Pat Surtain, still questionable for this game. We're going to be monitoring that extremely closely. If he's back, do you give it to a corner? He's playing about 100% of your snaps on there. Obviously, someone like Cooper or Bonito, they're not playing 100% of your snaps, so you can't give it to one of those guys. So that'll definitely be something very interesting to see. And because of what I just went through with my wife and my sister and just so many people in my life who I know about this, I also want to say, like, hey, go check something out. The doctor is not a scary place to be. and this is just becoming more and more common. So definitely check that out. So the NFL is also absolutely betting on your Denver Broncos to put up fireworks. So they are the center game of the entire NFL slate this next coming week. So CBS has made this their number one game, and not only are you getting Tony Romo and Nance and Tracy Wolfson, the A-team, they're also doing their studio show in Denver. That just lets you know what a big game this is. And truly, this is a game where we have a chance of basically ending the Chiefs' chances of making the playoffs. They are tied with the Jacksonville Jaguars right now at the record, and the Jacksonville Jaguars own that tiebreaker. So if we are to put them here and to beat them and to send them to 500, there's just not enough games left. They would absolutely have to run out and win the rest of their games in order to make the playoffs. Not only do the Broncos make and win the AFC West and get a home playoff game probably if they win this game, you're also pushing the Chiefs really far out of playoff contention. If you take a look here, this is the remaining strength of schedule, and everyone's saying like, oh, the Broncos are going to struggle here now that they have a harder schedule. We still have an easier schedule than the Chargers and the Chiefs moving forward, knowing that we get the Chiefs twice here and we get the Chargers one time. And the Chiefs have a real gauntlet here over these next couple weeks, playing a bunch of really good defenses and I think better teams than they played in the front half. So that would be phenomenal. But we also know that Sean Payton is going to have to break another streak, and that is just the consecutive times that Andy Reid comes out after a bye week just running on all cylinders, hitting on all cylinders, because he is phenomenal off of a bye week. 22-4 in his career and 6-1 with Patrick Mahomes. Now, a fantastic point here is that in games in which he's also facing another team on their bye week, he's not quite as invincible. And I say the Broncos can consider this being off since Thursday. Like, that's a little mini bye. The Broncos had the entire weekend off. They just came back today to start working out again. And so I think Sean Payton has just shown us over time. He has the receipts of all of the streaks that he's broken. We had a huge losing streak to the Vegas Raiders that he shattered. We had a losing streak to the Chiefs that stretched almost a decade long. We'd never beaten Patrick Mahomes. We did that and have done that multiple times and played him very tough. We hadn't won in Buffalo. He broke that. We hadn't gone to an East Coast road trip and won. He did all of that. We hadn't been 500. He did that. We hadn't made a playoff. He did that. So we know Sean Payton is going to have these guys ready, and he said as much in his press conference today that like this team is absolutely going to be ready. And I think the other thing that we have that, like, while we do not have Alex Singleton out there, Dre Greenlaw's impact guarding Travis Kelce cannot be understated. And Travis is getting older each and every day, and we know that tight end production drops off, but Travis Kelce's actually been playing really, really well. However, when Dre Greenlaw went head-to-head with him in the Super Bowl, before Dre Greenlaw tore his Achilles, he had held Travis Kelce in tow for one catch for 1 yard, tears his Achilles, and after that, he ended up with 9 receptions for 93 yards. So I think having Dre Greenlaw for this game is going to be so crucial. In the loss of Alex Singleton, knowing that Dre Greenlaw is going to be there and that he's going to be ramped up and those snap restrictions are going to be much, much more limited, has me feeling extremely good. Now, we're also getting a ton of evidence that the league needs to pump their brakes, especially against divisional opponents, and stop hating on Bo Nix. We talked yesterday with TJ Ward about how he actually believes in Bo Nix still, and so does the whole no-fly zone. Sean Payton believes in it. Like, we've gone through all of that, but the fact of the matter is that when you took a look at the NFL this week, you saw some wild things happen, and wild things happen from people who are in the MVP discussion. Like, could you believe that Josh Allen, Superman, the frontrunner for MVP, got mollywopped against the Dolphins, who are a far inferior team to the Vegas Raiders even? Like, it's not even a close comparison, seeing that the Bills ended up putting up a garbage time touchdown at the end, but just like what a garbage game, garbage performance from Josh Allen. And I still think Josh Allen's phenomenal. I think he's elite. And so I just wish that same exact criteria was used to judge Bo Nix as it is other quarterbacks in the league. And again, like we've said here, like Sean Payton said, so many people have a bad take in the NFL draft and they crap on a guy, and then their entire prerogative for the rest of their career is to prove themselves right. And that's what they're doing with Bo Nix. But Bo Nix is not hearing any of that noise, and he's going to prove to everyone on Sunday that that is the case. There is no disconnect between Sean Payton and Bo Nix. This was the picture taken during that game on Thursday Night Football. These guys love each other. They're for each other, and you're just seeing bad quarterback play across the league because divisional opponents and conference opponents, like, it's very tight. Like we saw last night, Aaron Rodgers have a way worse game than Bo Nix has had all season. 16 of 31, 161 yards, and they only scored 10 points on the Chargers. We scored way more points on the Chargers than they did. Bo Nix played way better against the Chargers. And I'll just say, before we start already chalking this game up as a loss against the Chiefs, when you look at our common opponents, they lost to the Philadelphia Eagles at home. We beat the Eagles on the road. They got destroyed by the Chargers in the opening Brazil game. We played the Chargers down to a walk-off field goal. The Broncos are a fantastic team. We are going to beat the Chiefs and end their playoff streak here. Denver Broncos country, we got so much to believe in. I would have bet money on that one. Come on!